Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be tier ranking all of the books I read in 2021. So I actually decided to leave comics out of this because I just thought it was gonna be too much, like let's just keep it easy. So I'm just doing books. This does include poetry books and all of that, but yeah, I'm really excited. I made my own little tier ranker thing, so let's just get started. Okay, so we've got 5 tiers here. I'm trying not to exactly rank them like in the way I would rank them with stars, like 1 through 5 stars. These are specific tiers, okay? So the first one up top, we've got I Will Never Be the Same. Pretty self-explanatory. It's just for like the books that changed my life. Like, I just will never be the same. Like, sure, I used to be someone else, but I'm not that bitch anymore. Next is Had a Good Ass Time. This is for ones that like I had a good ass time, but they didn't like change the trajectory of my life, The next tier is Sure, which again, kind of self-explanatory. Sure, The next tier is Coulda Skipped. And the last one is You're Done. It's just the final tier. Like, if you make it to that tier, maybe like you just shouldn't have been published. I don't know. Anyway, let's just begin. So this is sort of, it starts sort of in order, but it doesn't stay in order. So I'm just gonna go from the beginning though. Anyway. So the first one we have here is The Whisper Man. This was the first book I read in 2021, and I liked it. Like, I think I'm gonna put this one in the sure category because, sure. I liked The Whisper Man, but it definitely just was fine. Like, I liked it and I had fun, but it's whatever. The next one is Palo Alto, which I have very strong feelings about. This book for me goes straight into the You're Done category. You're done. Literally, why did anyone let this man write this book? Like, I'm sorry. I want a petition to ban this book in like the worst way. Like, I don't want it to be like a cool, trendy banned book that we should read because it's being censored. Like, it should go away forever. Sorry if you like Palo Alto. I'm just like, no. The next book I have here is The Power of Now, which I actually like, I sort of enjoyed. I also sort of was like, I don't know about all that. So I'm gonna put it in the sure category. Next, we have Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I love Perks. I reread it last year, and I loved it. I think I'm gonna put it into the Had a Good Ass Time category. This did get 5 stars from me, but I don't know, it just doesn't hit quite at the I Will Never Be the Same category, so that's what I'm doing. The next one is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, and honestly, this was like the first book I read in 2021 where I was like, oh, like this is igniting my love of reading. I was so obsessed with this book at first. So I'm gonna put it in the category of Had a Good Ass Time. I still think about this book. I really liked it. Next, we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I also really liked this book. I'm gonna put it into Had a Good Ass Time because it was just such a good ass time, such a good young adult thriller murder mystery. It was so mature. I read the whole series and I just loved it. So the first one was great. Written in the Stars. Okay, hear me out. I really do kind of consider Written in the Stars a favorite romance of mine. It was like one of the first sapphic modern romances I've ever read, and I'm obsessed with it, to be honest. I read it twice. I would read it again. So I think I have to put Written in the Stars into the I Will Never Be the Same category. It just hit different for me, okay? Next one is Long Way Down. Sure, like it has to go there because I liked it, but it wasn't all of that for me. Like, I liked it enough, Now we have The Rise of Kiyoshi and The Shadow of Kiyoshi. I think both of these are gonna go into Had a Good Ass Time because I did. I had such a good ass time. Next we have Girl Interrupted. Ooh, what do I put this in, huh? Even though I love Girl Interrupted, I wouldn't say while I'm reading Girl Interrupted I'm having a good ass time. I'm gonna put Girl Interrupted into the I Mean Sure category. Okay, that just feels safe for me. All right, next we have My Year of Rest and Relaxation, which, to be honest, I had a good ass time. Yeah, that's going in that category because I know that's such a mixed opinion book. Like, some people love it, some people hate it. I had a good ass time. I was eating that shit up. Next, we have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. And I have another unpopular opinion, you guys. I just didn't really care the entire time I was reading this. And I don't know why exactly. I feel like it could have been when I was reading it, or maybe I feel like it was kind of like a filler book for me. You know, do you ever have those where they're just like okay books that you read in between some books that you really like? And I know a lot of people loved this one, so like sorry, but I'm gonna put this in coulda skipped. I don't think this book is bad, I just think I could have skipped it, you know? Next we have Crush by Richard Seekin, which is a poetry collection, and it's literally unbelievable. It transcends realms, bro. Like, seriously. Richard Seekin just writes in such a profound way that I feel like some of it can kind of go over your head, but like the overall meaning is still really powerful. He's so talented and it's incredible. It's amazing. It's never been done before. It's going in the I Will Never Be the Same category. Next we have Friday Black, which is a short story collection, which I liked, and it was cool. It kind of was like Black Mirror-esque. I'm gonna put it in the I Mean Sure category. Like, I mean sure. It wasn't like a full novel either, so it's kind of hard for me to judge. I did have a good time, but did I have a good ass time? Not necessarily. Okay, Fangirl. Fangirl I reread in 2021, so this is my second time reading it. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Fangirl. I just like love Kath. I love that she's like introverted and shy and nerdy and writes fan fiction. Like, honestly, what else could I ask for? I had a good ass time. Then She Was Gone. Then She Was Gone is fun. Well, it's like a mystery that follows like 10 years after like this tragedy happened of this mother losing her daughter to mysterious circumstances. So like fun is like kind of like a weird word to describe for that, but I did have a good ass time reading it. Like, Lisa Jewell books just really just draw you in, at least for me, so I had a good ass time reading that one. Wilder Girls. So here's the thing, I actually really liked Wilder Girls. It wasn't like my favorite book ever, but I didn't mind it. I mean, sure, they never learn. Guys, literally they never learn. Like, I will never be the same because of that book. That book was just so good. Like, top 3 of the year easy. This book just gives me everything I've ever asked for. Like, it's sapphic, it's mysterious, just like 100% good for her energy. So I will never be the same. The next one is Honey Girl. I had sort of mixed feelings about Honey Girl too. I don't know where to put this. Okay, I'm gonna put Honey Girl in I Mean Sure, because sure. It's one of those books where there were parts I did like about it, but it almost didn't outweigh the stuff that I didn't like about it, or like the pacing and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm annoying. Anyway, something to talk about. Seriously, something to talk about is like my comfort romance book, even though it's slow burn and they don't get together until the end, but it's implied. Anyway, I'm putting something to talk about in Had a Good Ass Time. Now, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I think we all know where this is going. Yeah, I'm like, do I need to like go on and on? Like, obviously I will never be the same. That's pretty damn obvious. Next we have Halsey's poetry book called I Would Leave Me If I Could. I think that's what it's called. And I'm gonna put this in the coulda skipped category. And I'm so sorry, Halsey. I mean that. I honestly feel so bad like rating poetry books, because I know they're just like so personal, and like sometimes like it's like, who am I to fucking rate their poetry book, but at the same time I'm like, this isn't good. I mean, it's like not good as like, I don't think it was a good edited collection. There definitely was stuff I liked from it, but I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I could have skipped it. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I mean, sure. Like, sure. I kind of feel like that way towards all of Gillian Flynn's books. But I do also have a good time reading them. But they're just kind of like middle ground for me. I don't know. Radio Silence. Y'all are gonna beat my ass for this one. I am not a big fan of Radio Silence. I don't get the hype at all. I didn't really like it. And I hate that I didn't really like it. And it's not that I hated it, but nothing was super compelling to me. I just was not into it. I also thought it was weird how like one of the main characters I found kind of really unlikable, and I don't think anyone else did, so that was weird. Anyway, I'm gonna put that in the coulda skipped category, because honestly I could have, and it really would have not made a difference to my life. So I'm thinking of ending things. I actually read I'm Thinking of Ending Things twice, because I feel like it's the kind of book you have to read twice. I'm gonna put I'm Thinking of Ending Things in Had a Good Ass Time, because I did have a good ass time, especially the first time around, when it ends too and you have to like look up all the theories and stuff. The next one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is like a super basic opinion on Addie LaRue, but I will never be the same. It is going into that category because I know there is a lot wrong with Addie LaRue, but I feel like the profoundness of the storytelling in this book was something like I've never read before, and that really pushes it over the edge for me, honestly. The next book I read here is Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Won't Stop Talking. I think that's the entire title. And honestly, I'm putting this in the I Will Never Be the Same category. This was a nonfiction book that I read that really studied like so many different things about introverts and extroverts and how we work together in society and societal expectations of both of them, and it was just so informative. I really feel like I learned so much from this book, and it was very comforting. Next, I read You. I'm putting You into I Mean Sure because I read it after I watched the TV show, and I listened to it, and it was like fine. Like, I mean, sure, I guess. Next we have House of Hollow, which I love. Definitely one of my favorites of last year. I'm gonna put House of Hollow in Had a Good Ass Time because as much as I loved it, it's really not up there with the I Will Never Be the Same, but I did have such a good time reading House of Hollow. I love that book. Next we have The Haunting of Hill House. I'm putting this in coulda skipped because I just didn't mesh with this as well as I thought I would. I think this classic is written in a really accessible way. It's written just very modernly, and I liked it for that, but I didn't really care for it other than that. Like, it was nice that it was easy to read, but I don't know, I just didn't really like it that much. The next book we have here is The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, and this is a short story. I listened to it and it was like an hour long. I'm putting it in the I Mean Sure category. It just like didn't make like that much of an impact on me, but it was good. Like, it was entertaining enough for a short story. Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. I'm gonna put that in the I Mean Sure category, honestly. This was also a reread, but I first read it when I was like an early teenager, and I definitely didn't enjoy it as much reading it as an adult. Next we have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I'm gonna put this in the Had a Good Ass Time category. This was another reread, except I liked this better than the first time I read it, so yeah, I really liked that one. Invisible Girl. Okay, where should I put this? Honestly, even though I did not hate this book, like, I enjoyed my time reading it. Like, I read the whole thing, you know? But it's just one of those books that I look back on and so many of the choices were like so questionable. I think I just might put it in the You're Done category because like there were just so many moments I was reading it and I was like, oh, no, you're done. Next is One Last Stop, and I really liked One Last Stop. There were things I didn't like about it, but overall I had a good ass time, so that's where it's going. Next we have Satisfaction Guaranteed, which was one of my favorite romances. Okay, I think I'm gonna put it in Had a Good Ass Time. I had a really good ass time, okay? Actually, now looking at it as like, okay, Written in the Stars is in the I Will Never Be the Same category, I think I'm gonna move it because when it comes to romances, it's kind of hard for me to judge, like, did I just have a good ass time or will I never be the same? But for those two romances, I'm gonna put them in the I Will Never Be the Same category, for sure. Next we have Lock Every Door, which I'm gonna put in Had a Good Ass Time, because I did. I really liked this book. I thought it was nice. I listened to it on audio and it was like entertaining enough, and then like the ending was really fun for me. So next is Dead Girls. I really like this book. I'm gonna put it in Had a Good Ass Time because I just did. The Falling in Love montage, y'all, I'm sorry, but this is gonna have to go into the I mean sure category, because I mean sure, but it did not hit me as hard as I wanted it to. It was actually a bit disappointing. The Turn of the Key was fun. I'm gonna put in Had a Good Ass Time. Like, honestly, I had a good ass time reading The Turn of the Key. It was fun, it was mysterious, gave me Haunting of Bly Manor vibes. Ace of Spades. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put Ace of Spades in the I Will Never Be the Same category because I really felt like that after I got finished reading Ace of Spades. I was like, damn, like, you know, like I will never be the same after that. It was just such a well done YA mystery. It compares itself to Gossip Girl and Get Out, and it's just the perfect comparison of both of those. And it was just so good. It was amazing. The next book is Hang the Moon. I think I'm gonna put this in I mean sure. Like, I liked Hang the Moon. I had a good time. But did I have a good ass time? Not particularly. Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I'm putting Dark Places in the Had a Good Ass Time category because I feel like out of all of Gillian Flynn's novels, that one was my favorite. Like, that one and Gone Girl, so yeah. The next book I have here is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, which is going straight into the I Will Never Be the Same category because, wow, that book is just so vulnerable and honest and just straight up poetry. It's so good. It's like such a unique writing style, this like mix of poetry and prose, and it's just so good. I will never be the same. Good Girl Bad Blood, I'm also gonna put into Had a Good Ass Time because I had a really good ass time. I really like that trilogy, but it just doesn't meet the I Will Never Be the Same category. Like, it just doesn't like ruin my life like that. It was like purely really entertaining, you know? And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer, honestly, could have skipped. Like, it was just whatever to me. It was a novella. I thought it was gonna be like way more touching and profound than it was. I kind of didn't really care. It was just okay. Like, it was good, but I don't know. I just could have skipped it. This Is How You Lose the Time War changed everything. No, but I'm being serious. This is going right into the I Will Never Be the Same category because, wow, like, that book is hard to get into. It's like so hard to get into. It feels like a test, honestly. But once you get into it, like, shit, the fucking yearning, the pining, the love letters, like, I've been shot. Okay, moving on. We have Hairpin Curves, which I fucking literally swallowed this book whole. Like, I think I read it in like 2 days. Like, almost 1 day because I was obsessed with this. It was so good. I'm putting it into Had a Good Ass Time. It was just such a fun sapphic romance, like friends to enemies to lovers. It was so good, you guys. Next we have Love and Other Natural Disasters, which literally was close to as disappointing as Palo Alto, simply because I had the highest expectations for this book. I was so excited and like totally just I literally was fooled. Like, I'm just a clown. I especially hate that, and this is a warning if you think about reading this, is that it like follows this fake dating trope, except it literally does the exact opposite of what you want out of a fake dating trope. Why would you do it then? Please explain. You're done. You're done. Next we have I Don't Forgive You, which is like a mystery thriller that I actually really liked, and I was shocked how much I liked it. I didn't expect to like it that much. So I'm gonna put it into Had a Good Ass Time. I feel like it's honestly one of the better mystery thrillers that I've read this year, and I feel like I've read a big chunk, a lot more than I ever have before. So next we have Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I'm gonna put that in the I mean sure category, because like, I mean, sure, but like, I don't know. And that kind of feels like a filler book in my life. Like, I just read it and it just filled in the space of my life, but I didn't really care that much, you know? Next, we have The Death of Mrs. Westaway. And I like this book. I'm gonna also put it in the I mean sure category. That just feels right to me. I Kissed a Girl is the next book. I'm also gonna put this in the I mean sure category. It's one of those books that was like slightly disappointing, but I still kinda had a good time. Oh my god. Okay, the next one is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. And I'm literally going to have to put this in the I Will Never Be the Same category, because I've never read a book like this ever. It was just so disturbing, like deeply disturbing, and I will never be the same. So it's as simple as that. Okay, the next book is The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics, which one of my favorite books of 2021, for real. Like, oh my gosh, I get like excited just thinking about this book. I'm putting it in I Will Never Be the Same category, because it's just the truth. It's literally just the truth. Like, it's undeniable at this point. Next we have Watch Over Me, which I'm gonna put into the I mean sure category. Like, it was cute, it was fun, but it just lands there, you know? Next we have the poetry collection Black Girl Call Home, which I'm gonna put in Had a Good Ass Time category, because I did. The poetry was so good, and I had a good ass time. Next we have Blackout, which is a collection of short stories that kind of interweave together, kind of don't. I'm gonna put this in the I mean sure category as well. It was fine, but it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't really impact me. I just didn't love it, but it was good. Next is My Sister the Serial Killer. I'm also going to be putting this in the I mean sure category. Again, just feels like one of those filler books I read that was good and entertaining, but I don't know. I mean, sure. All right, the next book here is Crier's War, which I love so much. Crier's War goes into the I Will Never Be the Same category, because I was obsessed with that book, and as well as its sequel, Ironheart, going right next to it, because they were both just so good, so amazing, such like interesting world building and storytelling, and it was so good. My first like enemies to lovers slow burn sapphic romance as well, and it did not miss. Next we have The Hate You Give. I'm gonna put that into the Had a Good Ass Time category, because it was a good book. Next we have Turtles All the Way Down. I'm gonna put that in the, I don't know, I'm gonna put this in the coulda skipped category. I went into this book wanting to like see this POV from this main character who had OCD, and like I liked what I got out of it a little, but like not that much. Next we have The Bell Jar. I'm honestly gonna put The Bell Jar in the I mean sure category, just because like the last time I read it, it fit into the I mean sure. Usually I would put it into the Had a Good Ass Time, but are you really having a good ass time if you're reading The Bell Jar? You know? I'm gonna put La Belle Ajar into Had a Good Ass Time, however, because it was the first time I read it. It's a poetry collection. It was really interesting to read it alongside The Bell Jar, so I'm gonna put it there. Next, I have Juliet Takes a Breath, which, like, to be honest, I'm gonna put this in the coulda skipped category, because this like didn't give me much. It was just one of those books that I just didn't fall in love with. Like, we didn't vibe that well. It was okay, but I don't know, it wasn't all that for me. Same with The House on Mango Street. I'm also putting that in coulda skipped. Next we have False Witness by Karen Slaughter, and honestly, I'm putting this in the I Will Never Be the Same category because this book is heavy and it hurts, and I did cry at the end, and I cried after the end, just when I was thinking about it. It literally hurt my feelings, like, so bad to watch something so sad happening. Like, it was just so messed up. Yeah, I Will Definitely Never Be the Same. Thanks, Karen. Next we have Mexican Gothic, which I'm gonna put into Had a Good Ass Time because it was just so atmospheric, so fun, so mysterious. I had a good ass time. These Witches Don't Burn, I'm also gonna put into Had a Good Ass Time. I just found that book really fun. Pet Cemetery, I'm gonna put into I Mean Sure. Now hear me out, okay? I was debating putting it into the Had a Good Ass Time category because I had a good time reading Pet Cemetery. I did. But I do have, like, I have a lot of critiques when it comes to this book. Mr. King goes on a lot of lengthy rambles, and I kind of didn't love the way this ended. So, I mean, sure. Next we have This Coven Won't Break. I'm also gonna put this in Had a Good Ass Time. It was great. I had a great time. Next we have We Are the Ants. I'm gonna put this in I Mean Sure. It was like fun. It was okay, but I didn't like, I don't know, I wasn't crazy for it. Red, White, and Royal Blue is a big coulda skipped for me. Like, damn, could I have skipped? Here's the thing, Red, White, and Royal Blue was a book I never wanted to read. And then I was at the library and it was there and I was like, okay, I could read this without having to buy it, you know? And so I did, and it gave me nothing. I didn't like it that much at all. I was really bored and I really didn't understand like the hype, honestly. I didn't get it. I don't get it. Black Swans by Eve Babbitts. I'm gonna put that in Had a Good Ass Time because I did. It was so good and I loved it. I want to read more Eve Babbitts so bad. We're on the last little row, by the way, also. So we're getting very close to the end. Big Little Lies. Had a good ass time. I had a good ass time reading Big Little Lies, and I also did watch the show after, and it was really great. The Push, I'm gonna put into the I Mean Sure category. I liked The Push, however, I mean, sure, you know, The Giver I'm gonna put into I Will Never Be the Same. Honestly, I really am, because this was my second time reading The Giver, and the first time I read it I was like 13, so I already kind of had an emotional attachment to it, and reading it again just like gave me that exact same feeling. So I love The Giver, and I will never be the same. Next book here is Vanishing Girls. I'm gonna put this in the Had a Good Ass Time category. This was a book I had never planned on reading. I randomly picked it up and I really liked it. I loved the mystery. It was just really fun. It looks a lot like the cover of I Don't Forgive You, like the blue and the yellow. Anyway, next we have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I'm putting in the coulda skipped category. I honestly didn't love it. I didn't love it. I didn't get the hype. I was angry, in fact, so I could have skipped. Candide, I'm gonna put in I Mean Sure. Like, do I love Candide? No. I mean, you know, sure, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, next we have Hunger by Roxane Gay, which I'm gonna put in the I Mean Sure category. I really did enjoy this memoir, but I wouldn't say I had like a good time or like a good ass time reading this memoir, because it was heavy and it was intense. So it just falls in the middle there. You Should See Me in a Crown. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put this in the coulda skipped. It just went right over my head. I read it and now it's gone, you know? Down to our last two, we have Death Industrial Complex, which I'm gonna put it into the I Will Never Be the Same category, because honestly, Death Industrial Complex is a poetry collection and it hit different. Like, it was so good. It was for real so good, and like, it's one of those books I really go back and look at frequently to reread lines, and I like just read it recently, so I Will Never Be the Same. thanks a lot. And the last one we have here is Tender is the Flesh, and unfortunately we're ending on not that high of a note. I'm putting Tender is the Flesh into the I Mean Sure category. It just didn't bring me everything I wanted. It just definitely fell flat a little bit, so that's where it's going. So this is my final tier ranking of all the books I read in 2021. I feel like this does really do it justice. I honestly don't have that much, like, you know, in the coulda skipped / you're done category, so I would call this pretty successful if you ask me. But that is all for now, you guys. This was really fun. I really like tier ranking videos. Obviously, who doesn't? I've never had an original thought, but anyway, yeah, this was really fun, and I can probably find a million other things to tier rank in my lifetime, so I'll think of them and I'll get back to you. But for now, that is all. I might make a video kind of detailing some of my top books of 2021 and kind of get more in depth there. But that is it for today. So let me know what you think, if you agree with any of my thoughts, or if you're like you're losing it, what do you mean? So yeah, just, you know, let me know. Thank you guys again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.